All right, so today we have had some back and forth, and people are always wondering, how did Kingdom & Co. get started? And so we thought we'd share the evolution of how we got to where we are. Yeah, so Lincoln and I, we were working in real estate together, doing a lot of flips and just doing, building our real estate careers. And we had this idea that we would build an indoor farm, the whole farm to table movement. I can't remember how we came across it, but we came across this concept of building a farm within retrofitted shipping containers. And so we kind of built out this business model for it, and we thought we'd be selling fancy greens and lettuces to these high-end restaurants on the Strip, and we needed a guy that could actually build it out. And that's how we crossed paths with Brian. Partnered with Brian to help build this, and then we realized something completely different.
It was a great venture that we did. It was fun because we, at the time I got to design it, and it was using hydroponic technology, building our own A-frames, different things like that. How many grow spots did we have, Lincoln?
We had 5,000 grow spots per A-frame, and I think we had up to 3 or 4 A-frames. So we had almost 20,000 grow spots in there.
Yeah, and it was flourishing. It was actually really fun.
Yeah, because the idea is you're spending quite a bit of money to control the space with the HVAC, the CO2 emitters, all these mechanics that are going in to create this perfect growing environment. So you want to condense those grow spots and it all makes sense on paper, and the
engineering behind it was fun. It was oh my gosh, fog machines and this. We went nuts. We went absolutely insane. But throughout this process, when we were doing this, we were like, Brian, what the heck are you doing working for the government right now? And he's like, well, I've got a pension and this and that. I'm like, you're way too talented.
Yeah, because he had
he's like, no, it didn't make sense to us.
This was a side gig for him. He had his government job.
So it was basically 20 years of experience in building commercial buildings for transit terminals all over town and bus maintenance facilities.
Yeah.
So I had the background of building, I had the background of engineering. You guys were already at the time flipping, so it actually was a match made in heaven. I was able to get my general contractor's license, and from there it was, let's hit the ground running.
Yeah, people were calling us to say, hey, can you do my kitchen? Can you do my bathroom? And we're like, well, yeah, we do flips, we can figure it out. But as far as getting to that point where we could actually do it at scale, we needed somebody, we needed Brian. So that's how Kingdom got created. Yeah.
Well, it's funny, dude, because people ask a lot of times, where'd you get your name from? And I'm like, it was Brian. So Brian, I remember being at my house back in the day, and Brian walked into the house and he's like, hey, I had a dream last night. I know what the company's supposed to be called. I'm like, what are you talking about, a dream? In my mind, we're just gonna be this little company. And he's like, no, we need to be called Kingdom. I'm like, okay, Kingdom it is, not thinking anything of it. And then
I didn't know that.
It was actually a lot longer name. Our original name was Kingdom Home Remodel and Repair.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, and that's a lot of words there. But we revamped it to Kingdom Home, and now we are actually revamped again to Kingdom & Co. So that, because a lot of people don't know that we do commercial work. And it's funny that I've done commercial work for the last 6 years for my old employer. Yeah. A lot of TIs, a lot of build outs. And we've done a few restaurants.
Attorney office. One of my buddies, he was an attorney. He did his office for him.
So Kingdom Home was really limiting what people thought we could do, and by changing it to Kingdom & Co., it opened us up to a lot more commercial space.
Well, and they emphasize too, we do design now. So design, build, remodel, commercial work. It really emphasizes that we're not just we don't just do one thing. We can do multiple things, and we can do them well. That's the key.
The whole design thing came out of the era where we started working with Property Brothers.
Yeah.
Right, because so we're coming from the flip mindset and the construction mindset and doing kitchens and baths, and then can't remember how we crossed paths with the TV show.
We were working with a designer at the time that was contacted by them, and then she recommended us.
Yeah, we did a phone call and all that. We were commissioned to do one job for Property Brothers, but they ended up hiring us on to do 8 episodes.
Yeah,
I think so.
They love Brian. Brian kicked butt for him. He finished everything on time, on budget, absolute amazing quality. The guy I remember bringing him blankets one time in one episode because he was so tired. He had to finish up the job. Yep. Then to drive 30 minutes at 12 o'clock at night or midnight, brought him a blanket. He slept for 3 hours, had to get back up and get everything ready. And then when they were filming it, him and the designer, I remember when they were filming it, they were both sleeping. And I just remember thinking this guy has gone above and beyond. They love him.
Because the whole Property Brothers thing was, you're trying to juggle the timeline of a construction project, then they're trying to do a shooting a schedule. They have a schedule of when they shoot those scenes.
Yeah, it's a lot of starting, stopping, waiting, rush again, stop, rush again. So you have different milestones throughout the project that they want to capture on TV. So you would have to stop and wait for them to come film it. It got frustrating at time, but it's
really frustrating.
Yeah, but it was part of the game. You know, we knocked it out. It's funny because at that same job you brought those blankets, I had the HOA security come and tell me that if I didn't leave, they were going to tow my car. And I said, go ahead, here's the keys. Wow. Because liquidated damages by not being done on time were far more than me having to get my car out of impound.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool what the Property Brothers taught us. It taught us the importance of design.
Yep.
It taught us the importance of how we didn't realize how fast you can get things done with high quality. And that's kind of what we turned our company into, is we get things done quick at a high quality manner. It's pretty cool to see.
When decisions are made ahead of time, when the plans are well done, yeah, your velocity of execution is so much better, and the final product is so much better. So fast forwarding from the Property Brothers days, we knew we had to really establish a design department, and that was going to take some time to cultivate. So we retrofitted the farm containers, the shipping containers, and that became our office for several years. We were in
my backyard.
These fused shipping containers in Lincoln's backyard, and we were designing millions and millions of dollars worth of work in shipping containers.
Yeah.
And it was a blessing for us because it kept our overhead low. It allowed us to actually scale properly.
Yeah.
And attract good talent. I would say that, you know, people coming in, they might thought they thought what's going on here, but once they saw the company culture and what we were trying to accomplish, it worked out really well.
The miracle was that we were able to hire a bunch of the team that we have. You know, being able to hire, we have some amazing people that work with us, and for us to be able to convince them to come to my backyard and work in shipping containers was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Think about it.
And we didn't have, there was no cubicles. We were all kind of in one bullpen, and we didn't kill each other.
And we didn't kill each other. At times we almost did, but
yeah,
we never went that far. So the cool thing about where Kingdom & Co. has evolved into is it's really neat to see us now that we're in our design studio, and how much emphasis we've put on our design process and how important that is. And we discussed this the other day about how bad plans are when they come from the outside world. You know, we talk to architects, we talk to designers. Their goal is to put as little amount of information as possible into these plans so that they're not liable in the field.
Yeah, they just want to get you over that hurdle of getting permitted if you're the architect. The designer's not even interested in that. They just want you to get excited about something. But yeah, they're not the ones building it, so they don't have that vested interest in the detail, and they don't want to be held responsible for it.
And our experience, story time wise, I mean, our experience over and over and over again with all these other designers and whatnot, it came to the point where we're like, man, like they basically just give us a bundle of things that don't match up. We give it to Brian or a project manager, and we say, here, design this, and then you get the information, none of it adds up. There's so many miscommunications here or there. It got to the point where like we need to handle and control this process so that our clients can have a better experience.
Yeah.
And we see that over and over again. I mean, Brian is in the middle of a job right now he's working on that's a nightmare because of this situation.
It's true. It is. It reminds me of the old days, and I'll tell you what, I'm a lot older now, and it's tough.
Yeah, it's exhausting. So yeah, we and then in that process too, we built our own homes. And we really tried to design, or I guess engineer, our process around the process that we wish we had had when we were building our homes.
Correct.
And to help make those decisions earlier in the process, and so the execution of the build goes much faster and cleaner.
Absolutely. You know, it's so important. It's funny, I was meeting with somebody the other day, they're doing a big remodel, and they're flippers. They're like how we used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
And it was so fascinating to meet with them, and I'm like, man, if you guys try to treat this $1.5 million remodel as a flip, the nightmare that's going to happen, because it's just a different process, it's a different game, and the quality is going to go straight downhill. It's going to take them twice as long, and they're going to spend about the same amount of money and just have way more problems. And so it's just so cool to see the evolution of our company and how we've grown it into a position to where we have so much more knowledge now, where Brian has been able to build, like he built a custom home in 10 months, a 4,200 square foot home on an acre in 10 months. Like that's insane. And he could have done it in 7.5 to 8 months if the trusses would have came in on time. So like, it's crazy to think how we've evolved from the quality of plans and the quality of the pre-construction and emphasizing and applying that into the real world of construction, we can go fast and we can have high quality, and that's very hard to beat. That's what sets us apart.
Yeah, that's
really
the
does.
value that we offer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's pretty cool.
So an additional thing we didn't expect, we knew our processes would be, it would be a better customer experience by having the studio. What we really didn't quite anticipate is how much faster the design process goes quicker when you have the studio, because you can make decisions faster by having more samples available. You can take people through the process quicker, and with cabinetry, with windows and glass, with flooring. And so the added efficiency of the design studio is that those projects are getting designed quicker, and then your speed to actually getting the project is shortened significantly. That's been a huge advantage that we didn't notice, that we didn't realize and didn't anticipate would happen. And then in addition to that, some added tools for Brian's crew when they're in the field is things like Builder Trend, and the customer is able to log in, have their own portal, and they get daily updates of the progress that's going on in their project.
And the customer is also able to RFI, request for information, through Builder Trends, so everything's documented. It's real seamless.
Yeah, our plans, each page has the QR code. So if I'm a tile guy and I come into a bathroom, there's a QR code taped on the framing wall, and I can click that. I got the latest version of the plans. I know where all my hardware is going, as far as my shower handles, my shower head, and even down to the grout layout. If we're doing a special pattern of lay, all of that stuff matters.
Thickness of grout. I mean,
yeah.
Every little detail. Schluter
Yeah.
edges and all those call outs. So it's pretty cool.
So yeah, all of that process is what comes back to a lot of times when people are coming into a remodel, or even a new build, they don't realize all those decisions. And it can be so overwhelming, and if you're not ready for it, or if you don't have the right team, it just makes the project go to hell. And so
it's really cool to see when they meet with our plans manager and they put on the VR headset.
Yeah,
I've had friends and clients who put this headset on, and they're able to look around and like, oh my gosh, that wall is way higher than I thought it was going to be, or oh man, that 4-foot hallway isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, and they're able to see those things that they can kind of feel what the space is going to feel like. And that really helps with being confident in the decisions you're making, and it really helps with not making as many change orders in the field. It really helps save a lot of money.
It gives the client a life scale interpretation of what's going to be remodeled for them. They can actually walk around the space. It's cutting level technology, I'll be honest.
I wish I had it before I built. I mean, it made a huge difference.
If I'm going to spend $1 to $2 to $3, $4 million on my home, and I can walk through it and feel it, heck yeah, man, that's what I want. And that's what we're giving to our clients. And it's been a cool, awesome experience for them. I love it.